What's unique about Bunnahabhain is actually very little of our whisky is peated. That means it's got an extremely sweet flavour, and the reason for that is twofold. We've got the biggest stills on the island, and again that creates a lot of reflux, and so we get really elegant whiskies coming from the stills. And the other element is that we predominantly use sherry casks for our maturation. Now that sherry brings a lot of depth and a lot of richness. So Bunnahabhain really brings out the character of Islay. It's a very coastal whisky, picking up the scents and the smells from the sea, blended with those beautiful sherry cask maturations, gives you that wonderful sweet and salty flavour. It was a distillery established in 1881 on the island of Islay. So we sit in our own little bay on the northeast corner of Islay, looking out across the Sound of Islay to the island of Jura. It's a distinctly unique place. It's absolutely stunning and incredibly remote. Indeed, up until the 1960s, the only way to get to the distillery was by boat, and it was only in the mid-1960s that a road was built. And in fact, we were still receiving most of our grain and sending most of our whisky out into the 90s by ship. And this is our 12-year-old, and this, guess what we're famous for. It's matured predominantly in sherry casks with some bourbon casks in there, and it's characterised really by its complexity and depth. It's got lots of layers of flavour. It's mainly known because it's got slightly sort of toasted nuts and dried fruits and some caramel flavours in there. But always on the back note with Bunnahabhain, you get a slight salinity in that, and that comes from the fact that we mature all of our whisky at the distillery right by the coast. In fact, the casks that this was born in would have been meters or yards in America away from the sea. A lot of people are intimidated by Scotch. I think a lot of them see it as kind of their father's drink. I'd really urge you to reappraise that though, because whisky has moved on so much over the years, and we're trying so many different styles and new ways of drinking it. It's incredibly versatile. And particularly with Bunnahabhain, it's a really sweet, easy drinking whisky. There's a lot of layers and complexity to it, but at first sip, it's incredibly smooth and absolutely delicious. And a lot of people are put off because they think, oh, it's a whisky from Islay, and they go, oh, it's going to be really smoky and hard. There is not a single drop of smoke in our whisky. It's incredibly sweet and rich.